Tales from the Spacepod is intended for mature, open-minded audiences only. If you are easily offended, I suggest you turn this wacky shit right off. Otherwise, welcome to the pod.
Hey, big guy.
Hey, small guy.
How you doing?
We should reverse roles. Hi, Tiny.
Hey, Biggs.
Biggie. Bigsy. Bigsy, baby. Pull my pants back off. Now things are getting on the road here. Test. One deuce trace. There we go. I had my
Fap.
I've never felt satisfied, by the way, at fap as an audio indicator of jacking off.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
what,
I don't know.
Can you come up with something a little better?
I'm doing it right now. See how quiet it is when you're really doing it?
It's really creepy. Yeah. I just imagine hearing that, like, I'm brushing my teeth and I think I'm alone. Just hearing that, like, what?
Well, I think I have, over the years, learned to do it really, really quietly. I think that's the idea, is to not let anybody in on your little secret.
Oh my God.
Even if they may be laying next to you in bed or next to you in church or whatever.
Eyes wide open in terror.
Eyes wide open in terror.
You're like the human Jack in the Box. When is he gonna come? When is he gonna come?
I'm the Jack in the bed.
And you're just like do.
You're not talking. Is this a desk story again?
Say that again, loud.
Is this a desk story again? What is this?
A desk story?
Like what?
What do you mean again?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Here.
I came in late.
You there, John Mark?
Yeah.
He came in like a raping ball. Okay,
oh, my Lord.
I've got a little bit different setup. Everyone hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, sound great.
Well, tis the holiday season again.
Yay.
Old magical time of year when when depression runneth over and everyone's stressing out about getting that perfect gift. It's funny, I was down at, I know it sounds cliche to talk about how commercialism has ruined the holidays. There's nothing I can say about it that Sir Charles Brown hasn't already eloquently discussed, but we do this every year, and we tend to get all stressed out or bummed out. And I was just down getting some groceries, and you can just feel it picking up, the energy, the shopping season and all that's ramping up. Yet most people have these frantic, worried looks on their faces. It's like they all want to do
What if he doesn't love me anymore?
It's exactly what it looks like. It's like they all want to do their best with what they have. And I recently saw a study that it's something like 80% of all Americans go into debt every year buying Christmas presents.
Fuck.
Every year, 80%. We are spending way more than we actually have, and most of us are. The thing is, and I say it all the time,
racking up them credit cards.
we have everything we need. Even the poor among us, Americans, not like the shit poor, but, most people that we consider to be not doing too well, living paycheck to paycheck, we mostly have what we need in terms of stuff. My only suggestion for Christmas presents, take $5 to $10 at the most, and find something that, even if only for 5 minutes, it will just brighten that person's day. Like a little stupid gag gift or a framed picture of you and that person, or something simple that you would, something that you would get them just out of the blue, just on any random day, to let them know that you're thinking about them. There's no reason that you have to go apey just because it's Christmas. Just get something nice, do something nice. We need a revolution. We need to start rejecting this nonsense of having to impress or outdo ourselves, I gotta do better than I did last year. That's a depressing game to play, and it only gets worse and worse, and it's all silly, and Christmas isn't supposed to be miserable. On a serious note, my uncle committed suicide in his late 20s, and one of the things he actually put in his suicide note was that he was such a failure he couldn't even provide Christmas presents for his kids. Now, he had many other things listed there, too, but the fact that he put that in his last statement to his family shows how much it was weighing on him. It's fucking sick what we do around this time of year, and it's so avoidable. So I think we need to start a revolution and just start backing off this entire big-ticket item stuff, and hunting for that perfect life-changing gift. Because what are you going to do next year and the year after that? How are you going to keep outdoing yourself? So set a precedent of small humble but personal and meaningful gifts. Or just spend more time thinking about the person and less time thinking about the gift, and I think you'll come up with something cheap or maybe even free to do that will make them smile on Christmas morning. And here's the thing, if they do seem disappointed with your gift, your personal gift, exactly, because, let's say they wanted diamonds or an Xbox or a trip to Japan or what the fuck ever, then you know what kind of human being you are dealing with, and you can make a educated decision about whether you even want that person in your life come next Christmas. Because life is short, and the last people on Earth that we should have to stress about are the ones that are closest to us. That should be the easy part. If it's not, take a good look and decide if you're really with someone that truly loves you, or if they just want if there's someone that just doesn't want to be alone, they can go find someone else to buy them shit and take up space in the room. They don't deserve your thoughtfulness. So, I don't feel bad about not being able to afford the big ticket head-turning shit. Be thankful that you have an opportunity to do something unique and special that will certainly be remembered long after the expensive junk gifts have stopped sparkling or they've stopped working and been replaced by the newer models, Don't stress. Be thoughtful. And again, if it doesn't work, you will at least learn more about the person you tried to make happy with your humble gift. And rest assured, the trouble lies with them, not you. So, I don't know. That whole thought, that notion that I'd like to spark some sort of, even a tiny revolution and just start backing away from this shit. That seems like the only answer out of this holiday misery, and everyone I know does it to some degree. It's like, I don't have any money to buy this present for somebody, and I'm worried that they're going to get me something nice. I want to get them something nice, or I don't know what to get them, even if I have money. I don't know what to get somebody. I'm not good at it. Just take a deep breath, step back, and just think about the person instead of the dollar amount or the thing itself. And because honestly, how much shit do we have versus how much we need? It's a bizarre situation how this, and you can blame it to some degree on commercialism, but it's not always keeping up with the Joneses that gets us in trouble. Sometimes we ourselves just want the thing. You don't necessarily buy an Xbox because you want to make your neighbor jealous. You buy it because you fucking want it. So we get into our own trouble in the holidays. I just think it's sad because then we're all just digging ourselves out for the next, I think that same story said it takes 6 to 8 months to get back down to a level where you are not paying the price for the average Joe for Christmas every fucking year. I've never been like that. I've never really gone crazy. I've done some things where I definitely have overthought the gift and regretted it. I have backed away from doing things like that, and I do more personalized or silly gifts. Because like I said, we all have shit that we got our shit covered, We tend to buy the things we need or want for ourselves. So just get something that'll make somebody smile.
When people ask me, what do you want for Christmas? I'm just like, I don't fucking know. Because like you're saying, you do have everything you need. And when you start to think about it, you realize I really do have everything I really need. Yeah. There's some things I might want, but are they really? And you start to analyze, is it really necessary? Should this person, should I tell them to get me this? Nah.
Yeah, do I need this person to take $60 and get me this thing that I want or more? The average gift is between $30 and $100. And, for someone living paycheck to paycheck again, that's a lot of fucking money that just one gift, and that's one gift. So you multiply that over these families, and my family used to go crazy for Christmas, and they still do a little bit for the kids. And I don't know, that's different. I think it's kind of fun to throw a whole bunch of shit at your kids on Christmas.
I think if you can afford it, fucking go nuts, and just be like, listen, I can afford this. I don't expect anything. I'm just doing this because I can and I want to. But if you know what I mean,
yeah.
Like I feel like that's kind of how I would be if I just had like unlimited money and just be like, here you go, presents for everybody. But like, it's not the situation. So
yeah. And it's just
on both sides of that. Where I've been with a woman like bought her diamonds for Christmas, and then like less than a month later break up. It's like
that's miserable.
But, yeah. Any more for me, I spoil the shit out of my nieces and nephews. Rotten, dude. I do. That's what I've been doing for years. So
yeah, it's fair with kids.
Can I tell you guys about my life for a moment?
Yes, you can.
I wish you would.
My life has had two components to it. One has been great. The other has been not great. The great component is in the last, 8 or 9 days, I've gone through all the Star Wars movies in machete order with my friends.
Let's talk about the machete order in a little bit, but first get to your story.
It was fucking great. I really enjoyed it, and I'm super excited for the new movie. The not so great thing is my cat's got worms.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Again or still?
well, she never had them before, but I meted her anyways, just to be on the safe side. 'Cause, we had the cats that had them. I fostered a couple of kitties. And so I found, evidence of the parasite, we'll say.
Sure.
Had a little conniption fit. Tried to medicate her 3 times. She's very clever, which is my own fault. I put her up on a pedestal. She's my little princess, I finally had to go buy a pill gun. There's these little syringe things that shoot pills down the back of animals' throats.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been fun.
I want one of those.
I bet you
For some
do,
reason, I
Ron.
imagine it going straight up their butt, but I guess you wouldn't need a gun for that.
No, it just puts it right back to their throat, and then you press the syringe. It's like, pow, and it shoots it back there where all they can do is swallow, basically.
Yeah.
So that's been fucking great. Not.
Right.
So let's talk about Machete Order, though, because I think this was the first time I'd ever tried this.
Yeah.
Have any of you ever done this before?
I haven't. Nathan just told me about it, and that's what I'm going to do. But explain that, what that is.
Machete, I don't know. Anyways, the way you watch it in Machete Order is you start with A New Hope, so the episode 4, just as it was released, and then you move on to 5, The Empire Strikes Back. And at the end of Empire Strikes Back, spoiler alert to anyone that hasn't seen these Star Wars movies, you learn that Darth Vader's Luke's father. So immediately after that, you jump straight to episode 2. You skip episode 1 completely. You do not watch The Phantom Menace.
Episode 1 doesn't come into play.
At all. It's just not necessary. I mean, and I fought that because I liked episode 1 on some levels. I thought the fight at the end was one of the most memorable fights in Star Wars history. I very, very much enjoyed that part. So I fought with that, but then I kind of remembered all the shit we don't have to see. Like Jar Jar Binks, for the most part.
You miss me when I's dead.
You don't have to deal with midi-chlorians or that terrible actor that's Anakin as a kid. Ooh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
And it kind of shortens things up a little bit if you're trying to get through the movies fast.
Sure.
So it was great. So you watch episode 2 and then episode 3. I can't remember the title. Phantom. No, what is it?
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars
Attack of
is
the
2.
Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
So you follow that up with seeing Darth Vader come to life, basically, and then you finish up by watching Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, it really makes a lot of sense. And, I've seen all the
cool.
movies plenty of times, so just knowing the order, I can picture it. But I'm really looking forward to going back and diving into them. But
it's really neat to be able to jump while you're watching them consecutively, to jump between the new and the old ones, not just one jump. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
It
neat.
seems like that would be an easier thing to swallow than 1980, 1984, 1980, whatever, and then all of a sudden to 2000 computer age technology, where that was such a jump, but sort of going back and forth and straggling a little would be interesting.
There was something I noticed a lot, because we were watching the edited. It's really hard to find the unedited original Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
He's gone back and fucked. We've talked about this
With the digital shit's been added in.
Exactly.
Solo Greedo shoots first, all that stuff.
All that stuff. While I'm watching that, one thing kept jumping into my mind is I remember how they made me use my imagination most of the time before, and that was great. And now I've got these effects that look 20 fucking years old, and they're so dated that I wish my imagination would be better, bitch.
Yeah.
My imagination ain't ever gonna get old. Don't fuck with shit.
Yeah, it is interesting, and it's a dilemma. I know we talked about it to some degree with the Alien, Prometheus. Like that is supposed to be a prequel to the Alien movie that came out in
everything's so much newer looking,
and I don't understand. I know you would, of course, you would use the new technology to make it look better, but I never understand why they don't just stick with the exact same aesthetic. It wouldn't have been hard to just do a nicer, slicker looking version of the same thing. But they they design it.
The excuse that I'm telling myself about Prometheus and Alien, like the excuse that I use to justify it, is that the Nostromo was like basically like a fucking hunk of junk, that was the best that they could afford. You know what I mean? Out there in the fringes of the galaxy. And the other shit was like, obviously, it was like, yeah, exactly, the best that they had at the time. So,
yeah, interesting. Well, I'm glad you brought up Star Wars because my friend Cameron brought this up to me the other day. I ran into him and Lauren down at the Pybus Market. We sat and had a beer, and he told me this theory, and I was like, that sounds interesting. And then I went home and read it, and I was like, God, this is really fucking interesting, and it is all about Jar Jar. Have you guys
I know this.
read the theory that he's a Sith Lord?
It's fucking mind-blowing when you read that page, though, and they got all the pictures and the...
This thing is laid out like a senior college thesis, and it's fascinating to read. I just wanted to bring a little bit up about it because it, it goes in. First of all, we wouldn't have time to go as in depth as it goes, but there's also tons of spoilers, and I know a lot of people are going back, and many of them for the first time are watching, the older movies. So I didn't want to give too many spoilers, but the basic premise is that Jar Jar Binks is not the bumbling retard from space that we all thought he was, but rather one of the most powerful Sith Lords of them all, and some pretty compelling shit. So I'll put us at the stage, and then I'll post the link to the forum. So just a little bit about it. Early on, we see Jar Jar nonchalantly executing a standing 20-foot twisting somersault into a pond. And the theory reads, their exact words, taken out of context, if you were watching a Star Wars movie and saw a character casually execute this maneuver, you'd probably assume it was a Jedi. In context of Jar Jar, though, we don't, because elsewhere he is so thoroughly convinces us that he's nothing more than a harmless dunce with his inane dialogue and cowardly lion act. He also manages to convince us that he's a bumbling oaf in the midst of pitched battle, even though he's always incredibly, amazingly successful, whether single-handedly taking down a battle droid tank or unleashing a barrage of boombas on their front lines, or precisely targeting multiple enemies with a blaster tangled around his ankle. We simply roll our eyes and attribute it to dumb luck. Now, remember in the world of Star Wars how seemingly hard it is to aim a fucking blaster gun. And there are numerous times when Jar Jar kills every opponent within his sights, and it is usually done in that, did Isa do that? Tripping over the gun, lasers bouncing off other shit, pots and pans, and hitting every enemy. In other words, his constant success is constantly attributed to dumb luck. However, as Obi-Wan mentions in the original trilogy, there's no such thing as luck. Now, this is just the very beginning of the theory, and it's fucking insane. By the end, I think you will at least be thinking about this. Now, as to why Lucas would make a retard a powerful Sith Lord, element of surprise. I mean, it almost plays like an Easter egg in this first show, but the retard always comes out on top. The same can't be said, by the way, spoilers, for Darth Maul or Qui-Gon, two characters that were allegedly way more powerful than Jar Jar, and yet where are they now? And it does sort of resolve the loose ends of losing those two characters so early in the next trilogy. And according to this theory, the original plan was to make Jar Jar the ultimate Sith in the following movies, but because he was so widely reviled, they rewrote the entire story, making Jar Jar nothing more than a prop in the
Holy shit.
in the later films. And if you
bullshit.
have you read this, John Mark?
I did not read it because for the specific reason that it's all bullshit, and the less I have to think about Jar Jar, the better.
I'm telling you, I think you maybe more than anybody on the show will appreciate how deep this goes, because it is, I might be willing to believe it's full-on conspiracy.
Well, there was another, you may be getting to this, and I apologize if I'm...
No, that's all I had ready. I just really wanted to tease it, get people interested in check out the link.
I can't be 100% certain, but I thought I saw somebody retweet the voice actor for Jar Jar Binks had tweeted something after this all came out, and there was something else that came out at the same time showing like weird Gungan art for the new movie, so like there clearly some history there or something. And the voice actor says it's nice to finally get some recognition, even 15 years after the fact, ... or something like that. Something to that effect.
It's tough to know, because that would be, all of that would be easy to fake, to add to, and why not? I don't think they would be contractually bound to not at least have a little bit of fun with it.
Fueling the fire for certain.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway.
Well, here, let's put it this way. maybe this is one of those Berenstain Bears situations.
Well, we never talked about that on the show, did we?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Didn't we? I could have sworn we talked about that a couple times. Oh, you're fucking with me, aren't you?
No, I know we meant to, but I don't think we ever brought
reality.
it up. Yeah, set the stage on that, John Mark.
Okay,
this is really one of those blue dress type stories where people were adamant about it. But go ahead.
So there was a theory that came out that that there was proof of basically alternate universes because there's a series of children's books called I still don't remember which one is the real one.
I don't either.
Berenstain Bears. And it's these bears, like a family of bears, and they have all these wacky adventures, and they learn a lesson at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
But some people could swear that it was spelled Berenstain, like stain.
Yeah.
And another group of people swear that it was spelled Stein, like Stein.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, I remember those books being spelled Berenstain when I was 5. Now it's spelled Berenstain. What's going on? Did I just imagine that?
Yeah.
So there was this theory that that was like proof that there was some sort of split in reality.
That's the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard. It's a font discrepancy. Somebody is
well,
it's
it
not,
is
though.
until
It's
you
not a
start
font.
talking to somebody about it, and they're like, no, it was the Berenstain Bears. Like, no, it's the Berens. Now, it's hard to really drive this home just by saying the word. You really have to see how differently the spelling is. They're two completely different words. I mean, it's sort of like it was Star Wars growing up. No, it's Stairs Wars. I mean, it's that, but even more different. It's like a completely different word. You're not adding one letter. It's a completely different enunciation.
In a hallway long ago.
Yeah, fascinating fucking story. And, like I agreed with Chris the first time I heard it. I was like, what the fuck? But then I was like, wait a minute. And then I was talking to people about it, and everybody remembered it different.
Mm-hmm.
And then it really became this thing that was like the blue dress debacle, where you had people passionately weighing in, and everyone was confused. And then we go back and look, and it just seems like nobody remembers it right. So it's just like it is this hiccup in the matrix that no one really seems to understand. But
sidebar question: Did you have a small hiccup in your brain when you put the last stinger in? Was this because I didn't hear anything, so I turned it off, but I saw somebody left a comment saying, wow, 30 seconds of silence, and then blammo.
It wasn't last week's. It was the episode before last week.
Oh.
And what had happened, I know exactly what happened.
Oh, it's funny you told me.
It took me a while to figure it out. So what I do, I will, once I've spent a good chunk of time editing, sometimes it takes about 3 to 4 hours sometimes to edit these things together, depending on if I got to get clips and all that. I really try to make it sound as good as possible. So I go through and clean it up quite a bit. Sometimes I'll be an hour and a half into it and I got to go do some other work. And so I usually do a backup of it. I save it as an MP3 and then I end up with 2 or 3 files. I always just grab, the other ones are 1 through 4. I know that 5 is the latest one I grabbed. For some reason, I grabbed the backup. So that's all there was to it. I got about, 30 minutes away from being finished. I was like, I'm backing this motherfucker up. And then when I came back, I sat down, finished the editing, but so that there is the complete file out there with the stinger and the end music. There isn't even any end music, and that's why I just grabbed the wrong file. Could have been disastrous because sometimes at the very end of the episode,
what was the fap noise again?
Well, it was disastrous, wasn't it? Didn't somebody break their phone?
Oh, yeah, somebody listening was like, what the fuck? They're playing some sort of prank or something, and all of a sudden Lyle's half stinger just pops out. He's like, no, I'm going to go with, and I guess the guy dropped his phone and smashed it.
Damn.
Sorry about that. That's probably the 4th or 5th time I've heard somebody dropping their phone.
I know somebody who can fix those.
Yeah, put him in touch. But it could have been disastrous in another way because sometimes we shoot the shit at the end of the show and I just leave it recording in case any gold happens. And it's not always stuff we want to share. That's just us being, pals, as if we were talking all together in a room, not to be broadcast, So I was a little nervous when I realized what I'd done, but it was all good.
Before we move along from Star Wars, did you happen to check out the post I put on Facebook earlier today?
I haven't really been on Facebook much today. I didn't see it. What is it?
There's a YouTuber, Cooper Carter. And what he did is he played every instrument. Well, he played every instrument on his guitar of the whole theme.
Mm.
So
You
he's
got a
like,
little taste of that queued up and ready to rock?
I could totally cue this up. Dude,
I wouldn't mind a little, 10, 15 seconds of it.
He's playing the violin, the tuba, everything, all on his guitar.
I love stuff like this.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
Hit it.
All right, here we go.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra presents Star Wars.
That really makes me want to watch Star Wars now.
Sorry, go ahead, Chris. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, this guy's either getting laid a lot or he's never seen
Or not at all. Go ahead, Lau.
The harmonizations and everything. He's basically dubbing it out. So he's like recording one instrument.
Sure.
And then going back and recording. But he's got video of every one of them all together.
Oh, nice.
So you can see everything.
You know what I love about stuff like this? I think the first time this sort of phenomenon popped out at me was when I started hearing like 8-bit recordings of, popular songs. It really makes you appreciate the composition because they break down every part, and it shows you what it takes to actually compose. Sometimes even as a composer, we're all songwriters to some degree on the show. Sometimes even when you're writing the song, you don't think of it that complicated, you know what I mean? Sure. But you are writing so many different parts and so many layers to it. But on, a symphonic level, holy shit, you are really writing a lot of stuff. For each second of song, there could be 30 things written. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got the rhythm section. He was doing the doom, 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 doom. That's one thing. That's one part of all the mini tracks, and it's the foundation that you build this entire thing on. It's just, I always like to see that because it sort of makes you appreciate it more.
In that, we'll post that up on the forums, but it's 31 pieces.
Yeah.
So he's playing basically 31 different instruments just on his guitar.
Yeah, I love it. I'm going to get through this really quickly because this is probably going to be a little on the longest side. In case I guess we didn't properly set this up. We decided that this week would be our holiday cheer. We're going to play some games around the fireplace. And yes, we may be pushing the fireplace thing a little bit. Although this is a different fireplace. You may be noticing it's not quite as spooky, and you won't hear any bats and...
I have a lull Japan. You want me to do that before or after?
Let's do that after. It'll be a good gear shift. I'm going to cruise through this. Thorny sent this to me. It's a great list about mind-blowing, time-related shit, and I thought it would be perf for tonight's show. This is, let's see, boy, I thought I wrote down where... this is from Swifty.com. 21 historical facts that will boggle your concept of time. First one might be my favorite. Cleopatra lived closer to the building of Pizza Hut than the building of the pyramids. I'll explain. The Great Pyramids of Giza was completed around 2540 BC, while the first Pizza Hut was opened in 1958. Cleopatra lived around 30 BC, which is substantially closer in time to the first Pizza Hut than the pyramids.
Wow.
Weird. Well, you already see where we're going with this kooky shit. Yep. Next up, Oxford University predates the Aztec civilization. Oxford was, now there's a little addendum here, but Oxford was officially founded in 1249, whereas the Aztec civilization was built around 1325. Now, I was looking into some comments to see if any of these have been shot down, and it seems that the date on this one is actually off, but Oxford is technically older. So, by a long ways, Oxford predates the Aztec civilization.
We're talking about the Mayans, right?
That is old school, son. Yeah, the entire civilization. Go ahead.
It was a dumb joke. I'm going to leave it at that.
Oh, I'm so sorry that I stepped on it. So here's a little fun one. Will Smith is now older than Uncle Phil was in the first season of The Fresh Prince. Let that sink in. James Avery was 45. Think about that, John Mark. Is that how old you are?
I will be in a few months.
45. Uncle Phil was John Mark's age in the first episode of Fresh Prince. Will Smith is now 46. Yeah, and I also heard this, I think, on Corolla earlier, that Sylvester Stallone is now well older than Burgess Meredith was when he played Rocky's decrepit old trainer, Mickey Goldmill.
You can do it, Rocky. You can do it.
Imagine that? So Stallone is older than that.
He still looks fucking good, dude.
It looks way different. I mean,
Age
It's all that
differently
human
now.
growth hormone.
Shit, yeah, son.
Yeah. I heard Creed is fucking fantastic, though.
Can you take me high? Chris,
No
your
fucking
love for
joke.
Creed is well known on the show.
Listen to this. I was getting out of my car. I haven't listened to a Creed album in years. I was getting out of my car, and I'm like trying to pay the fucking ticket thing to get a ticket in my car, and all of a sudden this music's playing, and it's fucking Creed. And I'm like, that's disgusting. And I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. It was coming from my pocket. My phone on fucking Rhapsody had found Creed somehow and was taking me higher.
Somehow. Somehow.
Just knew you needed to be taken a little higher.
Maybe.
And you immediately got your rollerblades out of the trunk and went for a
I
good
did.
skate.
This started. All you could hear was.
Little four-wheel fap. Mm-hmm. Well, this next one actually, I believe, feeds into a lot of moon conspiracies. The gap between harnessing the power of flight and landing on the moon was 66 years. The Wright brothers managed to stay in the air for 59 seconds in 1903. Apollo 11 landed on the moon in 1969. 66 years from flight to landing on the moon.
And look how far we've come since then.
And we haven't gone back. We went back a few times, but
so they say.
it's crazy. It's crazy. It would be crazy to not at least doubt that we went to the moon, right? I go back and forth all the fucking time. I want to believe we went, but I also would totally believe we faked it. There's so many reasons why we would have faked it, but
Well, if it's any consolation, and supposedly in 2 years or next year, I think China's supposed to be going up. So
we shall see.
2016. woo.
Calling us out.
Yeah.
Here's a mindfucker. The oldest living person's birth is closer to the signing of the Constitution than today.
Oh, no.
Geraldine Talley was born in 1899, nearly 116 years ago. The Constitution was signed in 1787, which makes her birth closer to the Constitutional Convention than this very day.
That is an old-ass bitch.
What
Holy
that
shit.
lady has fucking seen.
She's just like, kill me.
The what institution? John Tyler, the 10th, there's another one sort of like that. John Tyler, the 10th U.S. president, has 2 living grandchildren. The 10th president, 2 living grandchildren. The Tylers are a family of late procreators. John Tyler had his son, Lion, at 63 years old, and Lion went on to have 2 sons, Lion Jr. and Harrison, 71 and 75. Our 10th
Lion.
president has grandchildren that are living.
That's insane.
The fax machine was invented concurrently with people traveling the Oregon Trail. Not fucking nuts. The patent for the very first fax machine was filed in 1843. This is like, talk about a fucking parallel universe. The same period of America's westward expansion. It's so crazy to think that while one guy could have been dying from dysentery, another one was wiring his mom happy birthday. Fucking fax machine. I just picture like a steampunk fax machine back in the 1800s.
I'm thinking more like Flintstones, like the stone.
Fucking the bird
Tap it.
typing shit with its beak into a stone. It's a living rock. France was still using the guillotine when Star Wars came out.
What?
Nice. I think they should bring back public guillotining.
Yeah, why-
For the most extreme, like terrorism. That'd be a great.
Just join ISIS. You'll get it right away, buddy.
Star Wars first aired in theaters in May 1977, 4 months prior to the last guillotine execution in France. By the way, 1977. Fucking Star Wars was in 1977. I know everyone knows that, but sometimes saying it out loud is like,
Let's say it out loud because that's kind of that's a long time ago. It was before I was
them shits is impressive. I was 2.
2. Yeah.
They're so weird to see that young again. Specifically Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
He's so fucking charming and young looking. It's bizarre.
Yeah. Well, dude got some action in that Millennium Falcon cockpit, you know what I'm saying?
He did the parsecs, you know. That means that-
And he always shot first.
Betty about animation.
Let me show you my carbonite.
What's that, Lyle?
I was just thinking about the animation back then, how they used to do the lightsabers and everything else.
That's why they all looked that way. That's the only thing they could do was that type of special effects. And them shits was groundbreaking, you know?
Right. That and the pew, 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 pew.
Yeah. The TIE fighters going by. It was like literally a guy going, vroom. But Betty White, here's an interesting fact. Betty White is literally older than sliced bread. She was born in 1922, 6 years before Otto Frederick Rohredder invented the machine to slice commercially sold bread. That's how new sliced bread is. Now, this next one has a picture of a Radio Shack newspaper ad from 1991. This is amazing. And it features all sorts of items like a TV, a car phone, house phone, stereo tape recorder, flashlight, radio, walkie-talkies, lots of other gizmos you'd expect from Radio Shack. All these are now in our cell phones. And that's a no-brainer to say, but imagine going back to 1991 and showing yourself an ad that had all this shit in it and saying, in 20 years, this will all be in a device the size of that cassette tape in your Walkman. We take this shit for granted now, and we complain about paying $800 for the latest and greatest phone, but when you think about everything that this one device replaced, $800 is a fucking steal. It's insane.
You remember back in the 80s, one of my very first like large purchases I've ever bought, you know, I like saved up my allowance, I worked, you know, and like mowed lawns and everything.
Flashlight.
Saved my money, dude. And it was an Emerson dual cassette like boombox.
Yeah, shit, yeah. That could be $200 and $300.
It was close to $200, even back then. It was like 1985, 86, maybe.
Remember how exciting it was to be able to dub a tape?
That's what it was about. You would take it and it wasn't even so much dubbing a tape, but you could like record the radio. Mm-hmm. So you didn't need to go out and buy tapes or cassettes. Mm-hmm. So you think about the technology then, you know, I mean, shit, you could $5 pick one up at the Goodwill.
12-year-old Ronnie was multi-tracking with one of those. I would, I would play the drums, I would record it, then I'd play the drums along on the other deck. I had one that you could play, you know, and record from that one, of course. So I would record with a microphone plugged in that would track the vocals onto, so then you'd have drums and vocals, and then I would record that from a different tape player. And then I would record my guitar onto it, and I would just put the two tape player. Lots of people used to do this.
I did the same thing.
Mixmaster Mike did this with his DJ tapes. That's how he got his name, Mixmaster Mike. You know, the Beastie Boys DJ. But a lot of people did this, and it really gave this interesting quality that I've never really been able to duplicate on that. Just that you want that raw garage, you know, instantaneous, spontaneous sound. But anyway. Moving on. If the history of Earth were compressed to a single year, modern humans would appear on December 31st at about 11:58 p.m. It's a bit of a math word problem, but that's essentially how long the Earth has been doing its thing before we came along. If it started in January, we didn't come along until December 31st at almost midnight.
So, like, we're just, we're new.
Yeah, we're new. Isn't that nuts? What the fuck was the Earth doing before we came along and started ruining it?
Having a good time.
The good old time before, we tards showed up. This one, I love this one. There are whales, you're going to love this, Chris. There are whales alive in the ocean today that were born before Moby Dick was written.
Gonna kill myself now.
Now, keep in mind, Moby Dick was written in 1851. Some of the bowhead whales living off the coast of Alaska, right in our backyard, are well over 200 years old. There are whales swimming in the fucking Pacific Ocean that were born essentially 100 years before World War II.
Holy fuck.
Think about that. There's an old fish, son.
It's a sea monster.
I don't know why, but that one really creeps me out.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too. I guess
it's kind of quaint to think that some actually like survived through our bullshit in history.
Yeah, that's true.
Until
Think about what that whale has seen, man. No wonder they're sad. Oh, fuck. fuck. Sort of the noise they make when they're swimming around.
Holy shit, give me that sad whale one more time.
Oh, fuck.
I like it.
Christ almighty. Anyway, thanks again for posting that list, Thorny, and I will post the entire thing at the spacepod.yuku.com. And if you have a good story that you think would make a good episode or a good little side note like that, send it to ronupbornfilms.com or message us on Facebook. So, should we get right into trivia night?
I don't really like. You know what? I can tell you right now. I hate where this is going. I feel like it's going to be. Are you smarter? Is a space pod smarter than a fourth grader? And we all know we aren't.
Well, here's the Amber Alert.
Amber Alert. I got that too. Pasco City, bitch.
Yeah, gray Honda. Last night, I heard a cop pull somebody over right in front of the house, and you could just tell it was pulled over right here. And about a second later, you heard the car that had pulled over just take off. And then the cop went after him. I turned on the scanner, and it was about a 20-minute chase all up around up here. And then he finally ditched the car up by the airport and ran out into the field where he disappeared. And they suspected that he was just laying down lower in the field. So they said, all right, you got 8 seconds to come out, or we are going to release the canines. Can you imagine being in that position? Like, holy shit. What the fuck do I do? It's like, do I get up and run? Do I get myself up? Or do I just fucking stay here? And then they said, all right, we're letting the dogs loose. But imagine if you were just laying low and all of a sudden you hear that like fucking running. Can you imagine how freaked the fuck out you would be? Because those dogs don't fuck around.
No.
Anyway, it was interesting to listen to, but they never did catch the guy. He got away, and that is why people run. He ran all the way up the hill. The canines didn't spot anything, and then some coyotes started coming down from the hill, throwing chaos to the whole canine situation. So, dude got away into the night, and I'm guessing that he stole the car, so he might actually have gotten away. Okay, trivia night. Now, trivia is usually pretty fucking difficult, and I decided not to make this terribly easy because I like to... Trivia always... I was just playing trivia in one of those restaurants where they got like a little Trivial Pursuit card, and Trivial Pursuit is a hard fucking game. You guys ever play them shits or go to quiz night? It's not easy. Yep. So I thought I would stick with... I got some softballs, but I was running them by Leah, who was very intelligent, and she wasn't getting them. So, don't fret. But I thought it'd be fun for everyone at home to play along and keep score too. So tonight's topics will be space, science, pop culture, and sexuality. Yes, folks, sexuality. Each question worth 1 point. No multiple choice here for the most part, so you will need to be on your tizzos. So,
can we make noises or something specific?
Well, since we can't have anybody copying answers, I'm going to have you guys text your answers to me individually. Just text them to me, not the group text. And we'll try that. If that doesn't work, we'll figure out something else. So, you guys ready to roll?
Let's try it.
Get your phones ready to text because you are only going to have 10 minutes. I will play a little song. If you haven't texted me by that, you will not be qualified. 10 minutes? 10 seconds.
I was like, all right. Well.
It's going to be a 6-hour episode. You're like, all right, well, I'm going to look this up on YouTube. Yeah. Watch a video. Okay.
Jerk off and then get back to you.
Questions on space. Starting with a couple softballs, maybe. Which planet is closest to the sun? I need your answers, please.
Wow, that is really loud.
Was that loud in you guys' ears?
No, it was awesome.
I'll back it up. All right, so John Mark says Mercury, Lyle says Mars, and Christopher says Mercury. Christopher and John Mark are both correct.
Oof. I don't want to play no more.
Yeah, no, this is going to be hard.
Well, I'm halfway down a fifth, dude.
You got a planet.
I'm a joint in.
1 out of 9.
All right, I'll get more stoned. We'll make this fun.
Okay. Which planet is covered by clouds of sulfuric acid? Lilypad says Venus. John Mark says Venus. Chris says Saturn. Lilypad and John Mark are right. It is indeed Venus.
Good job.
Those were the softballs.
Those are the easy ones.
Okay, which planet has a day which lasts 8 months?
Just got to guess, right?
Christopher says Pluto. Lyle says Neptune, and John Mark says Jupiter. Sorry, all incorrect. It is again Venus.
Yeah, I was totally guessing. I had no fucking idea.
Is it tricky? Gets tricky. But this is how you learn shit, by being wrong.
by being made to feel like an idiot.
Yeah, being educated and very untraveled.
Listen, if
I guess if I thought it through a little bit, I would have figured out that it was probably one of those two.
Well, see,
Mercury or
that's
Venus.
the real trick with trivia is you just have to rationalize shit that there's no way that you could, nobody knows everything. People who are really good at trivia sometimes literally just study trivia books, random shit, random facts. But the more you know about something, the more you're going to be able to guess about something else. So a lot of this does come down to just breaking it down. Okay, so next, what force bends light rays traveling through the universe? Which force bends light rays traveling through the universe? Answers, please. No one in a hurry to answer.
Yeah, and there's a question mark behind it.
Lyle says gravity. Christopher says vortex. All right. Now, I promise I won't laugh.
Every time, fuck you.
When you get something wrong. Vortex is good.
Yeah, it sounds like a Laffy McFuckerton.
John Mark also says gravity. Lyle and John Mark are absolutely correct. It is, in fact, gravity that bends light through the universe. So, again, sometimes it's easy to overthink, too, you know what I'm saying? I overthought that one. I was playing along with these when I was, and I didn't do that well, so don't feel bad. I'm sure a lot of people at home aren't going to get all these, or even close. Next, where theoretically, this might be key, theoretically might one find objects squeezed into infinite density? Where theoretically might one find objects squeezed into infinite density? Lilypad texted.
That is
cool.
not. Dude. Spell check. I did one.
What did he say?
Lilypad responded with cool. But then he quickly said black hole.
It was the, yeah.
Chris also said black hole, and John Mark also said black hole. You are all correct. Good job. And finally, in the space category, what is the most distant object visible to the naked eye? This one's tricky.
Wow.
As indicated by no answers coming through yet. So Christopher says a solar system. Well, that's not too far off. Lyle says Mars.
Gotta be.
And
We can see with the naked eye.
And John Mark says Saturn. Christopher was the closest here. It is the Andromeda Galaxy. But it's very specific. It is a separate, I guess you would have a solar system in that galaxy.
We'll give it that.
Pretty awesome, though, that you can actually look up and see the Andromeda Galaxy with the naked eye. It's this fuzzy little patch. I love looking at galaxies and star clusters and shit like that. We've talked about that before on the show. Moving on to science questions. Going to get a little more difficult here. Trust me, there will be a bit of a reprieve coming up, though. Chance to make up some points. Which blood type is called the universal recipient? The good thing here is you only have a few to choose from. Which blood type is called the universal recipient? Answers, please.
Oh,
Hold on. I'm changing my mind. Okay.
Chris typed, wait.
I liked the band growing up, so I don't know.
Christopher says typo negative. Lilypad says typo negative. John Mark says O positive. All wrong. It is actually type AB.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Get that John Mark out.
A little tricky. True or false? Most of the dust in your home is made of human skin. Finally, a true or false? That's not going to get old at all, is it? Played 60 times. I recorded it, and damn it, I'm going to play it. Lyle says true. Christopher says true. John Mark says true. All correct. A little more details. Up to 70% of your home's dust is dead skin. So enjoy that thought.
Well, isn't that creepy if you ever buy a new mattress, you notice how light it is compared to your old one?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like thinking about those things at all. All right, another true or false. There are 206 bones in an adult human body and 300 bones in an infant's body. "206 bones in an adult body, 300 bones in an infant's." Answers, please. All right. John Mark says true. Lyle says true. Christopher says true. Good job, all. Now, what happens is some bones in infants' skulls have not yet fused together. So they are loose, separate bones. But they grow together, and so you have fewer bones.
Mm-hmm. That's why you have plates in your head, too.
Now, that is trivia. What is the hardest substance in the human body?
My penis.
Besides Lyle's cock. The hardest substance in the entire human body. Lyle did go with my penis. John Mark went with cartilage, and Christopher was correct with enamel.
Wow.
Specifically,
I know that.
tooth enamel, but I'm sure that's what you're going for. I don't know if there's another type of enamel in the human body. So, moving on. This one will be a little bit funner, I think, for y'all. Pop culture questions. Mostly movies. In the movie The Big Lebowski, my personal favorite film of all time, which word is used more? Dude, fuck, or man? Dude, fuck, or man? This one blew my mind.
It's kind of more of a stoner flick than it is really a drinking flick, even though it makes me want to have a White Russian.
You know, you're right, but it always does make me want to drink. Makes me want to drink and go bowling and eat peanuts.
Right?
Lyle went with man. John Mark went with man. Actually, you all three went with man. You are all incorrect. It is indeed fuck. And it is said no less than 292 times. Man.
What's that guy's name? What did he say? He say, fuck you. What's his name?
Walter.
Yeah, fuck you, Walter.
Walter has to have the lion's share of those fucks.
I'm sure.
Now, dude was said 161 times and man 147 times.
Wow.
So nobody gets that one right. Woundy sent this one in, and this is a fun little question. In Scooby-Doo, what is the name Scooby short for? Which name is Scooby short for? In Scooby-Doo... What is Scooby short for? I didn't know this. I'm a huge Scooby-Doo fan. Christopher says Scoobalicious. John Mark says question mark. And Lyle has yet to weigh in.
Give me a second.
It's so weird how y'all just went quiet there. We had
This is serious business.
Uh-huh. Lyle's got his game on.
Now I see why Lyle needed an extra moment. He says, Sir Scooby McNannerpants. Very close. Very close.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Very close. It was, in fact, Scoobert.
Delicious.
Who the fuck knew?
Like Schubert.
Thank you for that,
Scuba.
Woundy. Moving on. The very first American film to show the flushing of a toilet was this. And I'll give you a hint. Not much of a hint, but it was a very prominent scene. What was the first American film to show the flushing of a toilet? John Mark, did you once again say question mark?
Indeed.
All right, Lyle, gonna need your answer.
Just give me a second.
Gonna be a long night if every answer is Captain Stephen McBooger McNannerpants. I will say this: Christopher is right.
Oh, shit.
But I can't say what that answer is until I have Lyle's answer. Don't overanalyze it, Lyle. All right, for fuck's sake. How long does it take to take a dick pic? Lyle wrote The Revenge of the Porcelain Gods. That is incorrect. Christopher, however, is 100% right with Psycho.
Oh.
It was when Janet Leigh fleshes the, torn pieces of paper she was writing her stolen money figures on. So, pretty prominent scene because they later find one of those torn pieces. Okay, moving on. Now, this one will go with the closest number without going over format. We'll have a couple of those. In the original Star Wars, Darth Vader had how many minutes of actual screen time? We're talking about just the very first film, A New Hope. Well, I guess the fourth film. How many actual screen minutes did Darth Vader have?
You said minutes. Ow, that's strong. I thought you meant like appearances.
Oh, well, Lyle went with 12, Chris went with 13, and John Mark went with 3. Lyle was 100% right. It was exactly 12.
Bam!
So your fuck-up worked for you there, Lilypad.
It does.
Shouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have ever known you fucked up.
I totally knew that. I kept it
Obviously.
my Timex watch every time I watch it.
This one's interesting. Before settling on Arnold Schwarzenegger, what infamous athlete was originally wanted to play the role of Terminator by the executives, but was shot down by director James Cameron?
Oh, I know this, but
Before settling on
Can you
Arnold
read it again? I'm
Schwarzenegger-
sorry, Ron.
Before settling on Arnold Schwarzenegger, what infamous athlete was originally wanted to play the role of the Terminator? Infamous athlete. Chris went with question mark, doesn't know. John Mark went with... Oh, Lyle, going to need your answer first. Lyle went with Lou Regale. Oh, Lou... the Incredible...
you know who he is.
Yeah, Lou...
Ferrigno.
Ferrigno, yeah.
Derek!
Lou Derek. And John Mark went with Chuck Norris. All good guesses. But I was trying to emphasize infamous to get you toward O.J. Simpson. Now, can you picture O.J. Simpson in that role?
Yes.
Now,
100%.
Bronco, hooray.
Get to the Bronco. That's good stuff. Apparently it was just the film executives that wanted him, and James Cameron immediately thought that he was the wrong choice and went with Arnold. Going back to Star Wars. Which two beloved Star Wars characters appear in the hieroglyphs in the Ark Chamber of Raiders of the Lost Ark? Which two beloved Star Wars characters appear in the hieroglyphs in the Ark Chamber in Raiders of the Lost Ark? They're actually pretty prominent. You can see them right over Indiana's shoulder when he's got a torchlight and
That one's pretty easy.
looking shit over. So, Lilypad went with R2-D2 and C-3PO, as did all of you. And that is absolutely correct. Put you down for a point each. Nice work. All right. Thorny submitted this question. This will be our final question in pop culture. What is Weird Al Yankovic's full name?
Oh,
wait. Keep thinking. What was Weird Al Yankovic's full name? Or what is his full name? Pretty tough one here, I think, for being such a popular gent. Chris answered with a black dick. A very troublingly moist black dick. All of a sudden we're doing Celebrity Jeopardy, and Chris is fucking Sean Connery. I'm the cock of the walk, Trebek. Lyle has no idea, and John Mark says lost to time. Well, this was my favorite batch of answers. It is, in fact...
The black dick. Tell me it's the black dick.
It is, in fact, Alfred Matthew Yankovic. Tough one. Those are pretty tough. Good job, though, on those.
So close.
Yeah, the black dick was very, very close. Now, closing with sexuality questions. I think you're all going to learn a little something here. Another closest without going over number. A teaspoon of semen contains approximately how many calories? Closest without going over. How many calories in a teaspoon of semen? Lilypad says 50. John Mark says 200. And Christopher says 14. Well, you all went over, but Christopher is the closest with 14. It is 5.
Yeah, bitch.
John Mark, you're confusing it with tartar sauce. A good guess, though. But that's good news if your gal is or your partner is watching their figure. Only 5 calories.
How many points is a teaspoon of jizz? Let me calculate it.
You can have another. Good stuff. Speaking of calories, how many calories does the average session of lovemaking burn? How many calories does the average lovemaking session burn? All right, everyone's locked in. Lyle says 150. John Mark says 200. Christopher says 550. You are all over. Chris, you are vigorous.
What can I say? I'm an athlete in bed.
A for effort. That's why we had the monkey bars installed. Lyle, you are closest with 150. It is, on average, 100 calories.
Wow.
Or 20 blowjob swallows.
That's a unit of measurement now for everything.
Fucking henceforth.
You go to McDonald's, you're like, all right, Big Mac equates.
How many cum swallows is that? 20,000. Woo! All right, I'll take it. For 75% of men, ejaculation occurs within 3 minutes. Oh, shit. No, did I fuck that up? I think I fucked that up. But since I started, I may as well say this fact. For 75% of men, ejaculation occurs within 3 minutes of penetration. 3!
Wow.
Seriously, dudes, y'all better be giving a lot of fucking foreplay. 3 minutes. That makes me feel like a fucking Iron Man.
So it will be called To Be Continued.
Which nation has the most sex? Don't overthink this. But think about it. Which nation has the most sex? This might be obvious, might not. All right, answers please. Christopher says, Lyle needs your answer. We can hear you Googling.
No, I'm on it.
Or oogling.
No,
Captain Senior McJack in the Pants. The third.
I'm making a word.
Of Rivendell.
Just applying for Geico insurance. 15 minutes or less.
Oh, Lau, come on.
Okay, Lyle.
I'm not cheating because you can hear my clicking. Right there, baby. Bam.
Lyle says, U.S. motherfucking A.
Yeah.
John
Wow.
And he said the fuck out of it. And John Mark says France. Christopher says France. You're all wrong. It is, in fact, Greece.
Shit.
Greece has the most amount of sex. There's a reason they call it Greek style, you know.
There's a reason why they call it Greece.
That's true. Conversely, which nation has the least amount of sex? Hint. This I found very surprising. Which nation has the least amount of sex? And I think you'll find it surprising. All right. Answers, please, everyone. John Mark says China or Japan. Lyle says China or Japan. I need you to choose one, Lyle.
China.
John Mark says USA. Christopher says Japan. Lilypad, you should have stuck with Japan. It was Japan. Chris gets a point. Yeah, surprising, right? I mean, I guess until they can actually have tentacle sex, they just stick to whacking it to cartoons.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
They actually put out the Kama Sutra. Right?
But I even looked this up to make sure it was accurate, and several studies have found that Japanese people have the least amount of sex.
Well, that's the problem. They're reading the Kama Sutra and they just fall asleep.
Well, the Kama Sutra is Indian, but
Yes.
India.
but we all can enjoy it. They're basically the same people. I mean, let's be honest.
Jesus Christ.
All right, moving on. True or false? The human penis used to have a spine in it.
True.
So we're getting lazy now. Just blurt them out. True or false? Our dicks once had spines.
It's my bad. I've been trying to mute and talking to my phone.
No, I see what you're saying. Lilypad goes with true. John Mark says false, and Christopher says false. Score 1 for Lilypad. It is, in fact, true. While scientists aren't exactly certain of the purpose of the spine, it's clear that pre-Neanderthal men did indeed have dick spines.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Evolution.
I'm telling you, this is how you learn shit, by not knowing it. Now, piggybacking off of the Neanderthal thing, true or false? Neanderthal men had penises that would fall off if hit with enough force and would later partially grow back, much like a lizard's tail. Did Neanderthal man have a regrowable lizard tail dick? True or false?
I'm not stoned enough for this. Holy
Scared?
shit.
It isn't like that. The center of the universe, or what is the center of the earth? You remember the move?
Journey to the Center of the Earth. Everyone remembers the famous dick falling off scene.
Right? So you hit a lizard man in the dick, and his fucking dick grows back after you knock it off.
Yeah, that old cliche.
Wow. Well,
nursery
raise your hand
rhyme.
if you're not sleeping tonight. Jesus.
Well, you all guessed false, and you were all absolutely right. The Ronster made up that one. And finally, ending the game here, which organization discovered during World War I that semen made great invisible ink? Which organization discovered that semen made great invisible ink during World War I? Answers, please. Chris goes with CIA. Lyle says the CIA. John Mark? CIA.
He's just writing it for you in invisible ink, see?
Say it. It's magic.
Yeah. There's my answer, bitch.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Wait a minute. Give me 5 more minutes.
I couldn't afford first class, though, so 2 of the 3 business days.
I'll put the A in after I'm done.
It'll be their Amazon time. John Mark, you with us? Did we lose John Mark right at
Shucky
the
darn.
climax?
He only had 3 minutes in him.
Sorry, I got a phone call.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think of the alphabet soup. You say World War One?
World War I.
Oh, what was even around then?
Take a guess.
NSA?
NSA? Nope. CIA? Also incorrect. It was, in fact, MI6.
MI6.
British
Okay, that
Secret
makes
Service
sense.
Intelligence. They discovered that you could use semen as invisible ink, and they stopped using it when they realized how badly it smelled once it got old.
Do you think it's squirting it on secretaries' stomachs like Penny?
Yeah, I think so. I think he'd write a secret message or two on the backs of some of those secretaries. It was the swinging
James
teens,
Bond.
right?
James
Let's
Bond.
tally our score here. I think this is going to be pretty close. So Christopher has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 correct answers. John Mark has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 correct answers. Lilypad has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 correct answers.
We need a tiebreaker.
We need a tiebreaker. Okay, let's see. Leah had a question for me. Let me grab her.
You just say, pick a number. 10.
This works great.
I wish you would call us like that.
Right?
Christopher!
Yes. There.
Lilypad!
I do feel a bit like Archie Bunker.
Exterminate.
Okay, so you won't be able to hear them, but Chris and Lyle tied in our trivia. So you had a trivia question, and I'm going to use that as the tiebreaker, but I can't remember what it is. Do you remember what it was?
Tell us.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
You had a trivia question.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
What? Okay, so go ahead and lean in, and
Okay.
here, you can listen in if you want.
How many... Well, okay, do you know who King Henry VIII is?
Sure.
That's not the trivia question.
He had all those wives.
Okay, so he had a whole bunch of wives, and he was notorious for disposing of them. So out of all of his wives, how many did he actually kill?
So go ahead and text your answers to me like we were doing before. How many wives did King Henry VIII actually kill? Lyle goes with 7. Christopher goes with 0.
I win.
And then here I promised I wouldn't laugh. Well, actually, Chris is closer than Lyle. Now, King Henry VIII had 6 wives, yes?
Yes.
Now, a lot of people, including me, until I knew this question, I thought that the story was he killed all of them. But he only killed
2.
Do you know which ones?
Yes.
Which ones?
Well, he was married to one, and he divorced the first one. He killed Anne Boleyn, the second one.
Oh, famously, spoilers if you're going to watch the Boleyn
third
Girls.
one died in childbirth, so he loved her the most. The fourth one he divorced. The fifth one cheated on him, but she was like 16 and he was like 50 or something. So he killed her, and then the sixth one he died, and when they were still married.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and
So
gentlemen.
does that mean I win?
So,
That means you win, you dick.
Chris is closer, so yes, you win. Congratulations. Thank you, Bears.
Yeah. Wow.
Look at that.
You totally did the Wheel of Fortune on me, man.
What'd we do that?
I underbid him. Yeah.
You did.
You underbid him. You did the Price is Right.
Yeah.
You came up behind $1, Bob. Oh, I see. You're that cunt.
You did that.
Spay and neuter your pets, cunt.
That's right. Give him ringworm message.
Feels good to be a winner.
Yeah, good job. You did better than you thought you would.
I guess so. Yeah.
All right,
I've got great useless trivia knowledge, but when it comes to the science smarts,
Well, listen, now you know shit. You remember some of those. Let's get on to some news quiz, shall we?
Yeah, can I go over some best of Facebook real fast?
Oh, let's do that. Yeah, we got to know who we're playing for.
All right, Adam Andrews posted directly to your wall, actually. He said, Ron, mate, make sure you watch Demolition Man. Whoa, where'd it go?
Boy, did this open a can of worms.
It was my favorite film for a very long time, and it's still a film I enjoy watching now and again, all these years later. Laura Wood responded to this by saying, it's so good. If you don't watch it, how will you learn about the great franchise wars? Mm-hmm. And then Shannon Lake followed that up with, he doesn't know how to use the seashells.
Which I thought was funny because I'm not sure that she listens to the show. Maybe she does, and I just didn't know it. But
it's such a great quote from the movie. It's just funny. You need to fucking watch this. Maybe you should like it.
I will. I promise I will watch it. I'm genuinely intrigued. Yeah, we should do some sort of live... we need to figure out how to do that, where we can all sit in sort of like Mystery Science Theater.
Exactly, yeah, where we can rip on it.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Ben Morhaime posted on our page saying, don't know if you guys have seen this yet. They have to sing a song called Not the Mama. And it's, I sent you guys a YouTube link right before we started. This is called Heavisaurus, the Finnish dinosaur metal band for children.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll post this on our page. It's really fucking fascinating. It's really fun.
Yeah, we did take a look at that before. It reminded me of a lot of shit that I was listening to back in the day. A lot of power metal stuff,
Yeah.
It's a little disturbing for me. I don't know, the tore dinosaurs.
I can get behind it.
Okay, David Fickencourt posts on our page. So I was out Christmas shopping the other night, and I ran across this at Target, and it is a little Spacepod. Have you seen this? I'm gonna send you guys all the photos.
Yes, I saw that post.
I thought that was darling, and I need one.
Our lawyers are on the case.
Yeah, little Spacepod.
Well, what's the keychain? What's that all about? Can you zoom? You can't really zoom in, but it looks like it's got a remote control.
It's like a doorknob.
It's like a cardboard little, it looks like the capsule that the old rockets would send our astronauts and cosmonauts up into the heavens.
It's like the tip of the shaft, from your little rocket story.
Yeah, those two boys, not a coincidence that they're in white T-shirts ready to launch out of that capsule.
Okay, last one from the best of Facebook. Sam Stutervant says, I listened to the last couple of podcasts on the toilet. Don't judge. For wacky news, I was finishing as you got to the which way do you wipe. and yelled along with Ron against those who wipe back to front. As I was finishing during tomfoolery, Chris convinced me to try it. Life changed.
I saw that.
Life changed. Changing lives one wipe at a time.
I have tried it, and somebody else said they tried it on the Facebook page, and they described it as writing with your wrong hand. And I concur 100%.
That's how I feel about the other way.
Yeah, I guess I get that, and between that and the what was it, the Biffin Bridge that Woundy was talking about. Yeah, listen, I'm not as weirded out by it as I was, but it still just doesn't make sense to me. And I can write with my left hand.
Right.
A lot of stuff with my left hand.
So here is the order in which you're playing for and whom you are playing for. Ron, you're playing for Ben Morhaime. John Mark, you're going to be playing for David Fickencourt. Lyle, you're going to be playing for Adam Andrews. And in the event of tie, Sam Strutenbart, my brother in back to front wiping. I got your back.
Okay, so how many? Maybe should we do 3 questions? 4 questions? How many do you got?
I've got 5, but we can do 3.
No, fuck it. It's Christmas. Let's do them all.
All right. Question 1. I came across an odd video making its rounds on the internet showcasing a man showing some unsafe ways to get rid of a semi-hideous handlebar mustache he'd grown for No Shave November. So in the video, he shows you a few different methods you may want to avoid for mustache removal.
Gotcha.
I'm going to read you 3 that he shows, and you have to guess which one I made up. The other 2 are actually in the video.
Okay.
Is it A?
I'll mute my phone there.
He attempted to take his mustache off by tying one end of it to a piece of string and the other end to a doorknob. And slickety slam.
Oof.
Is it B? He attempts to take his mustache off with a metal angle grinder.
A metal angle grinder. We've talked about those before.
Right to his face.
Mm-hmm.
Or C. He attempts to take his mustache off by soaking it in lighter fluid and setting his face ablaze.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ronster.
That's how you go in the day of the internet. I'm going, I'm supposed to choose which one.
Which one did I make up?
Whew. Tougher. I'm going to go with the meat grinder.
The angle grinder.
Angle grinder.
All right, Ronster.
I'm sorry. I was on a porn site earlier.
John Mark.
Those are all terrible, and I'm going to go with the angle grinder as well.
All right, fair enough.
My God, I was gonna go with the angle grinder.
The anal grinder.
Anal grinder. That's a whole separate move. Huh?
I work with one. I use one. I
You don't have to tell us, man.
No, I could shave it. I could shave my. I really could. And I would attempt it for YouTube fame, but we're guessing on what you're supposed to be doing.
Which one I made up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So which one are you going to go with?
I'm going with A.
You're going with A. Okay, excellent.
That was an analyze. Yep. I like it.
Question 2, we got ourselves a little Florida Daily Dubs.
Forgot which part was mine. I did Lyle's part.
Clearly.
Yeah. I finished strong.
You always do, Ron. A man in Florida was running from the cops when he thought he found a safe place to hide for a bit, until when he hunkered down in this hiding spot, this happened, which caused the criminal to lose his life. What happened to the man?
Beautifully phrased.
Thank you, yeah. I'm a poet. A. He hid in a dumpster bin that picked him up and then crushed him to death.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
B. He hid in a walk-in freezer at the restaurant he had just robbed and was not found until the following morning.
Mm-hmm. Just talked about that in the Taco Bell not too long ago.
God, you guys, it's cold.
A walk-in freezer.
I think I see what he did there.
Very nice. Mm-hmm.
Or is it C? He hid down by the marshy waterfront where a hungry fucking gator gobbled him up.
Ooh. Where was that? Oh, this is a Florida Daily Dubs. Gators go, anything goes in Florida. Well, I was really digging A, especially because you worded it so wonderfully. Boy, the gator really rings true. I'm wondering if I might not have seen this story. I got to go with C.
You're going with the gator.
Oh, I kind of regret that because I really want it to be A.
John Mark?
Yeah, well, there's something about that makes me feel like I've heard a story about that. Possibly, maybe, I don't know. But see,
You going with the gator?
I will say it's amazing how many people don't understand that most garbage trucks aren't just like a giant open bed of fluffy garbage. They compact that shit every time they pick it up. There's grinders, there's smashers. We've all seen trash compactors in some kitchens. You got the little thing that crushes it down. They've got industrial size, semi-truck size shit in there, son. You don't want to be in one of them trucks. That's why I was leaning strongly toward that until the gator thing. Yeah. Really, Pat?
You got me crazy with Florida.
He's starting to slide into 70s John Travolta. Little
So
thanks to
weird.
Cocktail.
So weird.
Let me ride a bull.
Oh, my God.
Raging.
Oh my God.
Got a raging bull. My God. No, but seriously, I really want to go see.
Yeah, let's get serious here.
I want to go see because it's got the Gators. It's Florida.
Yeah. It is a Florida Daily. Although that might be a ruse. I think we all feel like we saw this.
Yeah, well, in logistics, I mean, if you have cops coming in, they're looking for a suspect. They're going to go through the entire building. They're going to go through the walk-in. So I'm going to go with A.
You're gonna go with
It's funny how.
I'm sure you just.
Wait, what? Well, that was the mother of all analyzing.
It truly was. By definition.
I thought you were a
that
strong
was
C.
analyzed.
A strong C. I would have put money on.
Strong C, but then he started talking about the walking tree. He started talking leaning towards feet.
He was moonwalking to fucking A.
All right.
Oh my God.
Question 3.
I can't wait to hear that back. All right, let's go.
All right, fuck.
That might be the mother of all analyzing.
An 80-year-old man was hospitalized when this animal came through his open garage and attacked both him and his wife in a California suburb. Disturbingly, authorities believe the same animal has been responsible for up to 8 other similar attacks in the last couple of weeks.
A serial attacker.
What kind of animal are we talking about here? And I do have a photo of the old man in the hospital when he's giving an interview shortly after the attack, so you can see what we're talking about here. Let's see.
Before you move on, I want to mention, because a lot of people always have trouble when there's a bear attack or a cougar attack or whatever, and the authorities hunt down that animal and kill it. They think, well, why do we have to give them man's justice? It's an animal attack. It's a science. These animals that do something once are almost bound to do it multiple times. It's an interesting phenomenon. So if that seems crazy that they would go and try to hunt it down and execute it, it's because it is going to be a repeat offender. It's fascinating. Anyway, go ahead.
So this is kind of uncommon, but what kind of animal was it? Did you guys get that photo of the old man there in the hospital?
Yeah.
What caused the damage? What's been attacking people? Is it a squirrel?
Trying to get
All right.
Is it B, a hummingbird?
Trying to get a nut. Oh, God. Okay.
Or is it C, a feral cat?
Okay. I'm not sure about the hummingbird, but I know A and C can fuck you up.
Florida? Is this still Florida?
Maybe.
Negative. It's in California, a suburb in California.
Maybe it's full of honey.
He does look a little Pooh Bear. Oh, bother. Okay, look at his face and listen to that voice. Oh, bother. He's Pooh Bear. Grandpa Pooh.
No, seriously, for the audience and people listening, we should probably describe the picture a little bit so they understand. It's an older man sitting in a hospital bed. You can tell, but he's got a bloody blanket over his midsection.
It's the midsection.
And a couple lacerations on his hand, and there's blood on the blanket that he's
Not
holding.
a ton of blood. But
Not a lot, but
Zoom
there's
in on his hand, actually, before I answer. Oh, boy. Okay. I'm leaning against hummingbird, that's for sure. But that also makes me think that might be the answer. God, I'm a fucking retard. I'm going to go B, hummingbird. I'm a fucking retard, aren't I?
You make a united front. You know what I'm not going to pick? Fucking hummingbird. 2 seconds later, fuck.
Well, the squirrel and the cat I can see, but a hummingbird, now that's a story. A fucking hummingbird puts you in the hospital, son. I'm a retard. It ain't a fucking hummingbird. I'm sticking to it, though. I'm sticking to my guns.
John Mark.
Hit up
I'm
my
gonna
blood
go
with
with the
sugar
cat.
water. Oh, bother.
You're going with the feral cat, okay?
seriously.
Lily pad?
There's a Lyleism and then there's a Ronism because I think
You get inside your
Yeah,
own
I've got
head.
my own retarded logic. That's for fucking certain.
I'm gonna go with the feral cat too, just because it looks.
Because you're not a retard. A fucking hummingbird. Oh, I'm gonna feel righteous if it's a hummingbird, but
You
I
never
that.
know.
I know
We'll
it.
see when we get there,
Well,
buddy.
sometimes you know. Say that again, Lau.
Well, in the background, you can see with the IV, there's like he's getting transfused or something too.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on back there. Hard to say, but he is kind of giving you a look like, I can't believe that happened to me. I tell you what.
Feeding the hummingbird.
Which feeds to my guess the hummingbird. Yeah.
It probably is a hummingbird anyway.
Put the fucking red sugar water up, mother. Skullduggery bad news. All right.
All right. Question 4. A Missouri-based book publisher has released a 36-page coloring book for kids that's making waves. What is the theme of the coloring book? Is it A, safe sex, including illustrations of condoms, dental dams, and day-after pill consumption?
That would color me a taint all day long. I mean, a pussy all day long, son.
No, it's a bridge. What was the bridge? The
Biffin Bridge. Huh?
Is it B, gun control, including illustrations of mass shootings, mourning families, and lots of semi-automatic weapons?
Oh, interesting. I hate to do this, but before we move on, I don't know why. The alcohol's kicking in, and this is supposed to be a special alcohol show.
We're supposed to be happy, though.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but
You're going to shoot your eye out if you get a BB gun.
when I was like 7 years old, I discovered some books that my mom got from the library to try to help teach me about sex. And she never ended up showing me them, but I got into them and I read them, and they're like these really...
You thought your Christmas presents, and you're like, oh my God, look.
Christmas came early. I'm so glad I peeked. No, keep in mind, I'm like literally 7 or 8, and I opened them up and I saw these weird little cartoons, and they're like chubby people, really crudely drawn of them fucking. To this day, every now and again, I will jack off to those fucking cartoons.
Wow!
I'm only embarrassed to say that, not because I think it makes me a freak, but because it's fucking... We all got things that make us freaks. I understand that. But now you know one of the very intimate details of my freak. Yeah, jack off to that 7, 8. I mean, these are crude porn, but it was some of my first porn. You know, you never forget your first. Go ahead, Lau.
That's your happy porn place.
Very occasionally, very rarely.
No, it's okay.
I still remember the verbiage, too. I won't get into that. Some things have to be for me and my wiener.
You want me to put on some Marvin Gaye and you can recount?
I remember 1984. I was underneath my parents' bed. I couldn't ask for more. Let's go to C.
Let's see. Or is it C, an anti-ISIS coloring book featuring attacks on Western cities, beheadings, and acid attacks?
Oh, Christ, I hope it's C.
Acid attacks? What do you mean acid attacks? Like
Throwing acid on the face.
Oh.
This is something that's, at least, I don't know, who knows how much is bullshit and how much is real, but we always hear that women often get attacked if they've wronged their man in the Muslim world. They get acid thrown on them, but probably like everything else, it gets sensationalized. But acid attacks do happen.
I told him.
That's the only attack I worry about. If I lose my face, I have nothing.
I think about dropping LSD and ooh, watch out, you're gonna get attacked by a bunch of acid.
I was wondering why you were confused by that. LSD. It's in the water. Yeah,
Ronster, so your choices are a safe sex coloring book, a gun control coloring book, or an anti-ISIS coloring book.
I'm going to go ISIS.
You're going ISIS.
That sounds fucked up, but yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
John Mark?
The gun stuff.
Gun control. Okay. Lily Pad?
I want to say
No, that's no, but...
is not an answer, but...
I
It's
think
like a drunk's French slur.
Here we go. I think C, little too soon. A little too soon, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think guns in Missouri, not so much.
It's tough to get a read on Missouri. Yeah.
It really is.
I'm guessing conservative, but you never know.
I'm really I don't know, but I'm gonna go with A because it's
Safe
close,
sex.
Yeah. All right. Play in the field.
right? Well, we're talking toddlers here; they're young.
It's fucked up radio.
Hopefully, you should know something around there, and it's not beheading and acid trips.
Hopefully.
He's still going with acid trip. I like that. All right.
Question 5, last question here. A new video game has been crowdfunded and looks like it's going to be a reality. In the demo they put up on their GoFundMe page, 2 players will face off against each other as these 2 characters. Now, don't spoil this if you've already seen this, because I saw it making more rounds.
Okay.
So, 2 characters, you'll face off as a friend, and you'll play these 2 characters. Is it A, Player 1 plays as Hitler in a bunker during his last days, and Player 2 plays as his love interest, whose sole goal is to get Hitler to allow her to sleep with him?
Shut up.
Wow. That's
is awesome.
Leisure Suit Larry 2.0.
No, that's Wolfenstein, like fucking 12, right?
He's just walking forward, right, left, and fuck.
And come.
Wolfenstein.
Is it B? Player 1 is a father trying to baby-proof his house, and Player 2 is a baby with a death wish.
Okay, yeah.
Or is it
Well, that's
C?
got practical usage.
Is it C? Player 1 plays as a proctologist fresh out of med school, and Player 2 plays as a hamster trying to bury deeper into the ass the proctologist is trying to remove him from.
Oh, that's genius. If that's not real, well done. same with all of them, really.
Ronster.
Oh, God, how could I not go with Hitler until I hear hamsters and anus for medical teaching? I got to go with Hitler. That's a game. And it is, do you guys remember Leisure Suit Larry? That was like one of the earliest titty games. I think there's even a Commodore 64 version. I got to go with A.
All right.
Well, I went mainstream, too. They actually had a mainstream game that went off for the PlayStation 2. And
For Leisure Suit?
Yeah.
So fucking tame and retarded by any standard today, but yeah.
John Mark.
I'm going to go with B.
Baby proof the house, and the other player's a baby with a death wish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Lily Pad.
I'm not a father, but I know that, like, young people around me that are having kids, and I see it, and it's like, that kid's going to kill himself.
It's like having a puppy.
It is
their entire point of existence in that first year is to end its life.
Into the territories, dude, they're like fucking like George of the Jungle, fucking climbing up the entertainment centers trying to jump off.
They're like that until they're fucking 30.
18.
I'm gonna go with 3.
Especially if it's a guy.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go over the answers here, see how you guys did. And I have photos to some of these, so I apologize for the slight delay in between.
There will be no delay once Ninja Ron gets its stars on it.
Annoyed Ninja Ron. All right, question 1. Came across a video making its rounds, showcasing a man showing us some unsafe ways to rid a hideous mustache from his face. I read you 3 different options. I'm going to go ahead and just send you photos of... This is just literally screenshots from the YouTube video, so I'll post on the page.
All right, I'll let you know what I'm seeing. As I'm seeing, okay, there's an angle grinder, so I was wrong on that one. And he's trying to light himself on fucking fire. So you made up.
He's trying.
So which one did you make up? I can't remember
the doorknob one.
Oh yeah.
Lyle got that one right.
You know, you can pull a tooth that way. You can pull
Can't do a mustache.
Yeah.
but you can't do a mustache that way.
Can't do mustache.
Well, you can't really do your mustache with any of them, to be fair. So they are,
It is entertaining,
they're all as
though.
ridiculous as the last.
I'm really
I hate-
surprised he didn't cut
all
through the
different.
bone on that angle grinder.
Well, see, what the problem is that he has a grinding disc on that picture. If you had a normal flat disc, you really could like cut hair and facial hair with it, because it's flat. It's only 1/8 of an inch thick.
I'm going to defer to Lyle on the
will not be going to
expertise of the angle grinder.
You can do it, but
Lyle knows his anal grinding.
Is anal grinding?
I don't do angle, bro.
Is that isosceles?
Lyle got that correct. He's in the lead. Moving on.
We're not Greece. We don't do angle, bro.
Grease style.
Bro.
Okay.
Moving on to our Florida Daily Dubs.
Boodaloo. He's getting long in the
man.
liver tooth.
A man was running from the cops, thought he found himself a nice little hidey space. Well, turns out The gators fucking got him.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
It was just chomped away by the gators.
Oh, God.
What was left?
What did he
of him.
do? Do you know what his crime was?
It's like theft. It was something fucking petty.
Oh, that
Something
sucks. I was hoping it was like, raping a kid or at least robbing somebody, but theft.
Something exciting. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
we've all stolen something. Yeah. Well,
Question.
still.
Ron might remember this. Remember watching like old Faces of Death and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Watch like the parachuter going to the alligator pit.
That's one of the many that were faked.
It's fucking horrible.
Fake,
It was fake.
Faces of Death is 70 to 80% fake.
Yeah, a lot of that shit was fake.
And that is one of the segments that is faked. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, 'cause
I know.
that's
Doesn't that change your whole fucking child? What's funny now is that we've all seen 10 times worse shit than
Well,
what
when we
Faces of
seen
Death
it, it
showed.
was
But
back in '88, it was,
yeah,
it was
we go
cool.
rent them shit. What I was talking about, if you haven't watched any of those, I'm sure most of you know what we're talking about. Faces of Death purported to be just random videos of people dying, and a lot of it was real. A lot of the people jumping off of buildings and shit, set classically to Van Halen's Jump. But there were a lot of stuff that was fake, a lot of executions, and some guy or was it a lady? I can't remember. Somebody accidentally parachuting into a pit of alligators. And
Well, it was 10 years before the internet, so nobody knew. It was like, holy
you
shit.
couldn't Snopes them shit.
Everybody was like, holy fuck, let's go rent that. And watch it. And it was like, holy crap.
yeah, there was a lot of it that was real, but the animal stuff was all real, and I don't even want to get into that.
No.
Moving on.
Shit, but
Horrible stuff in those movies, anyway.
So question 2 is the Florida Daily Dubs. Ron and John Mark got that correct for 2 points a pop.
Mm-hmm.
Question 3, an 80-year-old... Now, Ron, this is your fucking question. This might be the turning point.
I hope so.
An 80-year-old man was hospitalized when this animal came through his open garage, attacked both him and his wife in a California suburb. Disturbingly, authorities believe the same animal is responsible for up to 8 other similar attacks.
Let me hang on this moment.
It was, indeed,
8 other.
motherfucking hummingbird.
Oh, you fucking... Cubes of nature.
Just
The
kidding.
next
It was
thing.
a fucking squirrel.
Oh, you fucking...
It wasn't. Welcome to my class, bitch. Welcome to my fucking...
twisted butt fuck. Oh, you let me. Oh, I felt such elation, and now I feel such dupation.
Yeah, it's a squirrel. So
Coin a phrase.
sorry, guys. Nobody got that correct.
Squirrel, huh? Interesting.
Question 4.
It was, in fact, a motherfucking hummingbird. Goddamn,
Just
believable.
see your retarded face light up with the
Oh,
happiness.
my titties are poking out of my fucking t-shirt. Like Bo Derek and 10.
I almost feel bad
Oh,
telling
you
the
fucking
truth.
should. I know I do. This is supposed to be a feel-good holiday episode. You just broke my heart.
Question for a Missouri-based book publisher has released a 36-page coloring book for children that's making waves. The theme of the book here, I'm just going to go ahead and send you the cover in one of the pages.
I was hoping
It
this
is
had a
fucking unbelievable.
illustration.
All right, here's the cover, followed by one of the pages you can color.
Oh, yes. It is, in fact, ISIS. Okay, let's read the cover here. ISIS, A Culture of Evil, a true-life graphic comic book. And on the cover is an American man being beheaded by a member of ISIS with his fading word balloon saying, "What will you do when they come for you?" Murderers, real monsters, terrorists. Wow.
Isn't that incredible?
Wow.
They
Yeah,
should have.
well,
They should have had like a cross around his I don't know, skeleton of a neck.
Yeah, I'm sure there's all sorts of hidden shit in there. And not so hidden shit.
Get me out of here.
Ronster, you got that correct, buddy.
Awesome. Only one, huh? Oh, what's the second one? Oh, my God. Okay, here we got a, what looks like an American soldier giving the peace sign. Defended Kobani, allegedly killing over 100 ISIS militants, and there's somebody who has gleefully beheaded her, and her little ponytail is hanging down like a disemboweled. Oh, boy, that's really something.
Yeah.
That is
There's
an amazing piece of kitsch art. Unfortunately, that's not how it's presented. Like, this is something that you could see, like, maybe Banksy or some weird pop artist doing as satire over Islamophobia or something, maybe, or even just the craze that we're in right now with ISIS in general. But that's not what it is. Very interesting and alarming.
Hey, guys, this is like an edit point, because it's been really like dwelling on my head, and I've been drinking a lot.
I am so not editing this out. Whatever comes out of your mouth next stays.
Yeah, I hear you not.
I don't want to sound like a queer or nothing, but ramblers are sweet.
But I'm 3 inches into it.
Highlight hair that I seen in a picture from earlier. No, I'm just
never go away.
Such a supple lips. No, I'm just kidding.
He does.
No, seriously. The whole ISIS shit, and John Mark will probably back me up on this. Yeah, you know, we seem to forgotten about like all the camps that are put up all around the U.S. There's 2 in Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
The FEMA camps.
The FEMA camps.
Oh,
now think about this. You know, when Pearl Harbor happened, you know, it was the Japan, and there was Japan citizens that were put into like concentration camps.
Yeah.
Yep. What the fuck's going on right now with the Muslims? I mean, because there's American Muslims. They're not like, you know, extremists. But at the same point, like in less than 6 months in Washington State, they're going to take 10,000 illegal immigrants into Washington State. The way I look at it, in a weird sense, is the fact.
I think at that point they'd be called refugees and not illegal immigrants.
Well, no, totally. No, totally. And, no, for me, it's weird. It's like if you like take an Amish kid and put him in South Central LA. How are they supposed to actually, you know, adapt
with fucking Amish magic? Dude, I mean, straight up, they make them fucking stoves out of Amish magic.
If
they can survive South Central. I'm fucking.
If you take looking at this image,
you guys don't know the Amish magic stuff, do you? You never seen those infomercials on the Amish magic?
No, what the fuck are you talking about?
Stoves that are made with Amish magic. You look.
No,
I'll post it.
Talking about now.
Sorry, go ahead, love.
And you're gonna post this fucker for every like 5-6 blocks. If you look in Wenatchee and where we're at, there's Christian churches. I mean, there's probably how many churches do you think are?
Oh God, I
150 maybe in the entire valley.
It feels like it. Sure, there's churches all over the place.
You know, so I don't know. It just makes you wonder. It makes you think.
But I'm not. What's your ultimate point, though?
No, my point is why is those camps there? Why they've been there?
Oh, you're talking. So you're talking 2 things. You're referencing the internment camps of World War II era that we put not just the Japanese, but all Asians. Anybody that even looked Asian, we put in those.
Not at all.
And the new FEMA camps.
The FEMA camps. That's what I'm talking about. They are abandoned. They're empty. They've been here, and they've been here for a long time.
Well, explain the FEMA camps for anybody who's... Which FEMA camps are you talking about? John Mark, you guys seem to know something I don't know about the FEMA camps.
The last I heard about them was like a year or 2 ago when Alex Jones was all rabble-rousing about the camps and the coffins and all this shit. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard about all that, where supposedly there's stacks of coffins ready to go for... But has any of that been confirmed, or is that just like...
Well, yeah, no, there's 2 in Washington.
No, not really.
I don't know how many. I don't know about the coffins and shit, but the facilities are functional. They're up and going. There's nobody in them. If you look around, the barriers are basically chain link fence and barbed wire. Instead of facing out, they're facing in. They're like a prison.
So, what do you think that this is where the Muslims are going to go?
I don't know. I'm wondering.
Well, you know what's interesting about... We were really getting off topic here, but that's all right. What's interesting about where we're going with Muslims right now is it seems to be there's always something. There's always one overlying thing that divides us all. And it does seem to be a dividing thing. Should we let the refugees in? Are Muslims all evil? Should we accept the Muslims? I will say this. Every time Donald Trump says something that you think, oh, well, that's it. You can't say that and become president. His numbers go up.
I know, it's
so
terrifying.
You can't, whatever side you're on here, it's not a landslide belief system one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a lot of division here. So let's say that maybe something is coming down the pipe in terms of Muslims being thrown in. That's one theory. Another theory is, and that's by a lot of the people that might be trying to throw Muslims into concentration camps, they think that the other side is there's a conspiracy to turn America into an Islamic nation. And that seems to be dividing a lot of people. But I don't know ultimately what would cause us to, as a nation, throw in... I'm very cynical about America, and I'm very cynical about where we have been versus where we've come. But I do feel like this nation would just not accept repeating the same sins that we did against the Japanese, against the Chinese during World War II. You know what I mean? I don't feel like we would all... I think that would be something that might actually start a grassroots revolution against... Like if the government actually made some sort of mandate where we got ISIS, we got all these terror attacks, we need to start rounding up the Muslims, which... Whether or not he's genuinely serious, Donald Trump is saying things like this. And a lot of other people are agreeing with him and saying things like this, that we need to round them up. It's a sort of a cliche to compare your political antithesis to Hitler. It drives me fucking crazy because it demeans the history of what Hitler and what Nazism and all that stuff was.
The minute that shit starts happening, I'm fucking out of here.
But what Donald Trump has been saying lately is write the fuck out of Hitler's playbook. To say that we need to tag and separate people from... Replace the word Muslim with Jew, and a lot of shit that he's saying is right out of Hitler's mouth. This is the front runner, ladies and gentlemen, of American politics right now in terms of the Republican candidate. Well, I suppose if you got FEMA setting up camps, you can use whatever conspiracy theory you want to funnel those people into that camp. Question is, what do they really have in mind? Someone's going in there if they're real.
It's the NDAA. When it got passed,
what's this got to do with basketball, Lyle?
Has nothing to do with it.
All right, let's get moving on. The interesting, but
question 5.
See, exactly. Nobody knows. See?
That is the mystery.
No, it's basically the way they could imprison, do anything they want to you because they think you're a terrorist. You don't have to do anything. They could just imprison you for nothing and indefinitely. Doesn't matter what you do.
Oh, well, the ability to go into martial law or declare an executive order has already been there in place. But, we talked about this. You can do it whenever, as long as there's a national emergency. Remember, we had Brian Toohey on. We're going to have him back again to talk about the craziness of those. Basically, we are set up now that Obama or anybody who is leading this nation can declare martial law. That's the premise that he was setting up, and I'm really looking forward to getting him back on.
It's not martial law, it's law. Today, as is. All they have to do is knock on your door, say, Mr. Ron Evans, I hear you do a podcast. It's called Tales from the Spacepod. Mm-hmm. We think that you're doing...
I'd be honored.
You probably should be doing. You should come with us. And then they could literally imprison you.
You know that I masturbate to that 8-year-old porn that I looked at when my mother was trying to teach me about the goods.
For no reason. Let's put you there. You need to wait here, and next thing you know, you're in prison for the rest of your life. For no reason. There's no court of law.
Let's put this on hold and bring this all up when Brian Toohey is back on, because I'm sure he has plenty to say on the subject. But right now, let's get moving back on to News Quiz. I don't even remember where we're at. Are we doing answers now, or we got more questions?
Video game.
And you're not going to cut that, are you? You dick.
Fuck no. That's good. That's gold. That's podcast gold, son. We haven't gone down a rabbit hole in a while. People love them shits.
I'm on a no.
That's good radio right there.
It is. It's content. But we are at 2 hours, so let's wrap it up.
Question 5, see? A new video game has been crowdfunded, and it looks like it's going to be a reality, see? In the demo, on the GoFundMe page, see? 2 players face off against each other as these 2 characters.
You sound like, what is it, the South Park...
Yeah.
The Canadians.
Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker.
The correct answer was indeed. Player 1 is a father trying to baby-proof his house, and player 2 is a baby with a death wish. And I'll post some YouTube footage of this. It is fucking hilarious.
Am I ever going to get to play as Hitler trying to get laid? Ever?
A baby crawling into an oven, closing the door behind himself while it heats up, etc.
It's really fucking... helpful.
I would love the Hitler thing, because it'd be like fucking his mom like showing up with like her bra, like, won't you watch this? Fuck you,
Nine.
And I don't want to.
John, Mark, and Lyle both got that correct for a point apiece. That makes, let's see, Ron has 3 points, John Mark has 3 points, Lyle has 2 points. You guys tied. Sam, Stunt, Vant, you are the winner. You got 7 days to reach out to us, and we'll figure out what kind of prize you'd like.
We got a lot of ties. Guys. Well, good stuff. We took a detour there, but I like it. Stay tuned. We will get Brian too. We got Woundy looking into it. She's messaging Brian. We'll probably have him on in the not too distant future. And other than that, I guess let's get on out of here. RonUpWarrenFilms.com. Send us your show ideas. You got some interesting stories you think would make a good feature for the show? Send me those. Otherwise, post them on Facebook. Join us at thespacepod.yuga.com, the forum, only place where we post all of the show notes, links, and photos all at once, and links to download or stream the shows. Other than that, get on out
Like
of
us
here.
on Facebook.
Like us on Facebook. How else will we know that we're real? If you don't like us,
Yeah.
and when you meet us in person, take
Leave
us.
us iTunes review.
Oh yeah, that thing. It's
Watch
funny.
us on YouTube.
It's funny that it used to
Watch
be
us.
like the be-all, end-all, and now I just, fuck you. I don't give a shit about it anymore.
Watch, this one ain't going to post again. Great.
Fuck. Seriously, I mean, just as a musician, I have, the Bloody Orange just has 4 albums, I believe, on it. Guess how much money I have received from to date?
$1.
Make an O-shaped sign with your hand, as if you might be masturbating to the porn you saw when you were 8 years old. And that's how much money I've received from on the other hand, I have sold, literally on the other hand, I've sold way fewer albums on Bandcamp and have received enough to pay the rent. So fuck up its stupid ass. That fucking company is a piece of shit run by the morons that can all burn in fucking hell.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
By the way, why won't you guys feature us?
This will be our last episode that you ever hear.
Fuck up its fucking ass. The whole company of was going to shit since died.
Just leap out the word every time so they had to fucking guess.
Oh boy, that might be kind of fun. I will do. It's more work. It's probably 20 minutes of work at this point, but I'm gonna fucking do it.
Fuck
I
it.
am going to do it. They'll figure it out. That's fucking funny. All right, we'll see you guys.
Night, guys.
Later.
Good night. Seriously though, fuck.
Laughing McFuckerton.